He got problems, she got problems, only I got 411 problems. Say hi, what's up, y'all? It's time for another story time. And welcome to, what did I name this in the list? Oh, her car is outside. Yes, I'm putting on the sale. Anyway, so yeah, we are back with the story times. We wilding out. So remember I told y'all when did I first introduce y'all to wilding out? Take one for the team? I think it was take one for the team. Yeah, I think it was take one for the team. That's in the Storytime playlist. Um, I think that was the first time me introducing you to Wildin' Out. And I told you guys, like, Wildin' Out was very sheltered, very, like, she couldn't do nothing. She couldn't be around nobody. I mean, she could be around people, but just only in school. Like, anything after school was a no. It could be a school function, was a no. It could be with teachers, was a no. It could be with teachers and chaperones, was a no. After school, like, she could not do anything. And then once she got out of her grandparents' house and went to her dad's house, she became a parent. Not that she had kids, she had to babysit, like she had to, because she was the oldest, she had to take care of her sisters. So maybe, why are we tripping? So yeah, so it was like she could barely do anything. So when she got to her senior year, she had started working, she had saved her money, she had got her a car. Like, she was on her ish and she had her plans, and she was determined to do what she needed to do, not only to make her grandparents proud, but it was like, I just want to live my life and enjoy it for a change. So literally once she got outside, she was wilding out. I'm outside. She was wilding out, which is why I said that. So this particular time, wilding out, she's still in the story time, him or me. In the story time, him or me. Wilding out is still dating California at this point in time. And also at this point in time, the homeboy that I was cool with, he was back in, I forgot what I named the old boy. Mima? I forgot what I named him. But anyway, the dude who was making me choose or wanting me to choose, he was gone, and his homeboy who was there the first time that we was just cool, he was back. So this particular night, like, she had called me, because remember I told you guys, and maybe you don't, maybe this is your first time, seeing my channel, seeing this video. Of course, this is your first time seeing this video, but I mean, it's your first time, like, coming across my channel. But just play along. Remember, I told you guys that we had private lines, because back then, like, it wasn't really called waiting. This piece of hair is getting on my nerves. It wasn't really called waiting. It was like, you got a busy signal. Yeah. I'm trying to zoom. Why it look like that? Is it my eyes? I don't know. It look weird. Maybe it's my eyes too. Anyway, so you would get a busy signal, like there was no call waiting. You would get a busy signal. So we, most of the teenagers in my age group during that time, we all had our own private line. So that way we wouldn't tie up the phones, because we would be on the phone talking a bunch of nothing. So instead of you tying up your parents' phone, like, you had your own private line. So she ended up calling my line, and she was like, hey girl, I'm going to California house. You want to come? And mind you, this was not the weekend. This was during the week, if I'm not mistaken. Was this during the week? No, this was not during the week. This was actually a Friday. And I was like, nope, I'm good. Because after the situation with the other dude, I forgot what I named him, and him or me, I ain't want to go back. Like, it was like, I got out, I'm staying out, I'm not coming back. And so she was like, no, like, he's gone, so homeboy is back, so you can come. Like, you can come. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. And so she was like, no, like, it's cool. And I was like, no, I'm good. And so she was like, okay. She was like, well, we gonna come by and see you anyway because homeboy want to see you. Because remember I told y'all homeboy had got deployed. And we didn't know that when we showed up. Because I just thought it was just gonna be me chilling in the house. Go check out them story times. You won't be disappointed. But I thought it was just gonna be me chilling in the house and lo and behold, it was somebody else. But he was gone. So it was like, if I'm not mistaken, him being gone, I think he had got back with his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend. Ex-baby mama. Something. If I'm not mistaken. I think that's how it kind of worked out. Or maybe it was something with the finances with him in California. Maybe it was the finances. Something like that. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, girl, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. She was like, well, we gonna come by anyway because homeboy want to see you because homeboy was back from being deployed. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. No problem. So you telling me ahead of time. So I went upstairs to tell my mama because my mama was home. So I was like, hey, mama's here. Like, she's not at work. Because most of the time my mama was at work and she was a cop. So she worked 12-hour shifts. So she was like, okay, that's good. She was like, that's cool. And I was like, so I'm going to let her know, like, y'all coming by. So I went upstairs, let my mama know, like, they was coming by. And so she was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, my mom was cool as long as she knew ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? So they came by. And they came, like, I was in my room, so they came downstairs. Like, wilding out, here comes to my house multiple times. My mama knew exactly who she was. My mama knew her grandparents. My mama knew her parents. Like, well, not her parents' parent. She knew her dad. And so it was like, she knew the family. So she was like, so wilding out, just walking in and then coming straight to my room wasn't a big deal. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of looked like when they walked in, like they came downstairs. And downstairs was the family room, which is where I was and where my room was. So wasn't really tripping. Like, she wasn't really tripping. I was still in my room watching TV. And it was like, you here, like, ain't nothing going down anyway. So anyway, so they was in the room. They wasn't staying long anyway, but they were in the room. They was looking around. And at this point in time, like, I had CDs. And I was using Columbia House. And it was another one. I think it was like BMG or something. It was something where you could get like CD. You get 10 CDs for a penny. Or 10 CDs for $1. So my CD collection was like stacked on the side of my bed. So you saw all these CDs. And they was going through California. Was like, you got every CD. Oh, she got MC Hammer. Oh my God. Like, he was just going through all my CDs. And so he was like, you got all the CDs collection? He was like, and then you got Ice Cube? He was like, oh, you have a plethora of music. And I was like, yeah. And so he was like, okay, you got a nice collection. You got a nice little collection. And so he was like, why you not coming? Why you not coming to my house? Why you not coming to my house? Cause of old boy? And I was like, yep. And so he was like, he not even there. Like, come on, man. He was like, you see, like, he's not even there no more. And I was like, nope, I'm good. Like, that's just how I was. And most of the time, like, with anything, so, like, it takes me a while to get to a certain limit. But then when it's something where it's like you got out, don't set yourself up no more. It was like, nope. No. I'm good. So something was just telling me just not to go this time. Like, I was like, no, I'm not going. So they was like, all right. So they was like, well, she don't want to go. Like, we just stopped by because, homeboy hadn't seen you in a while. So, he had been deployed. And I was like, I'm glad you made it back. Because if I was not mistaken, like, he went somewhere, like, to fight, I think. I'm unsure. Can't remember. But I know, I was like, glad you made it back safely. And I was like, welcome home. And he was like, thanks. Like I said, he was cool. It was nothing between us or whatever. And so he was like, you don't want to come hang out with me and we could talk and I could tell you everything that I went through? And I was like, no, I'm just going to chill out. He was like, all right. And I was like, I'll catch y'all probably on the next go round. Lying, because I wasn't going. I was not going. Do you hear me? Wasn't going. So they left. They got in. They was like, all right, well, we'll see you later. So they left. I didn't walk them to the door. Or did I walk them to the door? Nope. I didn't walk them to the door. I stayed right there in my room. So, cause wilding out has been in and out of my house. It's like, girl, holla at y'all later. And I was like, lock the door on the way behind you. Meaning when you're walking out, like you turn that lock and then you pull it. Like it wasn't like a deadbolt. It was the knob. Lock the knob. On your way out, lock that. And like, so cause in my mind, it was like when I go upstairs to get a snack or whatever, cause the kitchen was upstairs, of course, then I'll do like all the major locking or before I go to sleep. I didn't even have to do that. My mama would do that. But because she would double check her house. But anyway, so she was like, okay, yeah, girl, I got you. And so they left. Chilling. So I'm chilling, watching TV, minding my business. My business is minding me. And I went on to sleep. So it's around, I would say 9:30, 10 o'clock. And the next thing I hear is, because I slept with my door closed. And sometimes I slept with my door locked. I told y'all that because of nightmare. And then also because of my mom's boyfriend too. So I was like, what the? And so I don't think I slept with my door locked this time. But it was like a certain respect. Like she would do. Like you don't, if the door is closed, even if the door is like, it didn't have to be locked. If the door is closed, like you show respect and you knock. Like you don't just walk in. And so she bammed on the door and then she was like, Angel, wake up right now. And I was like, what the hell? So I woke up and I was like, ma'am. And so she was like, I am not something to play with. I do not play these games. I don't understand what's going on, but you need to fix it. I'm like, what? Like, I was like, did you, what? Like, in my mind, I'm saying, did you dream something? Like, what? Confused. It's like, lady, I'm in the house. What are we talking about? What are we talking about right now? What are we doing right now? What are we saying right now? So I'm like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? And so she was like, her car is outside. Why is her car outside? Why is wilding out cars outside? I was like, I don't know. She was like, what you mean you don't know? And I was like, if I'm in here with you, if little Johnny has 2 apples, if I'm in here with you, how would I know why her car's outside? I was like, I'm in here with you. I've been here all night. I don't know. I was like, far as I say, when she left, I told her to lock the door. So I know y'all saying like, girl, if you lock down the door, like if you lock the house, you didn't see her car. So mind you, in front of my mom's house, we have this huge oak tree. Huge oak tree. She parked right in front of the oak tree. I'm not paying attention. And like I said, it's dark. So the only little light like in front of our house, if you remember from Home Alone, and I was like, hey, tell your homeboy to come around the other way, because there was this one little light like right there in the cut in the corner. So the light is not shining way back this way. It's just completely dark. The church across the street, they didn't have any street lights on. Like, we live in the country, they didn't have any street lights on. Their street light was like catty-corner to like our street light, and after a certain amount of time, they turn their street light off. It goes off. So it was dark. That's why I was saying, like, my granddad, like, they little night, well, I won't say night light, but the light that they would have, like, their backyard on their back porch, if they wasn't, like, if my granddaddy wasn't out, because at this time, my grandma had already passed. So if my granddaddy wasn't out, he didn't leave his back porch light on. If he was in the house, his back porch light was off. So it was dark. Like, dark. Dark. Like, you get it how you live. Like, so it was dark. So I'm not thinking nothing. And I didn't even know. First of all, I thought she was riding with him because you're going to his house. So I'm not thinking like you leaving the car with me, because you didn't say anything. And that was the thing. That was the thing. So I was like, I don't know why her car outside. I've been in here with you. So I don't know. She was like, well, you need to find out. Literally, as she said that, the goddamn main phone rings. The house phone rings. House phone rings. She goes in the family room and she answered the phone. So she said, hold on 1 minute. So she go back upstairs. Also, I'm thinking this is like somebody calling her or one of our cousins calling her, to call and talk or whatever. So I'm chilling in my room going. So I pick up my phone and I'm paging wilding out and I'm putting in 911 because it was girl code, our little group code. Even when it came down to like Mia, if we was doing stuff, I was like, let each other know. We need to know the story. United front. Let me know. So like I can pretend, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like we gotta keep the same lie going. You didn't say nothing to me about leaving your car up front. If you would have said, hey, I'm leaving my car up front, I could have said, we could have came up with something like, oh, okay, when you tried to leave, your car wouldn't crank up. And I ain't want to tell you, till in the morning because my mama fixed cars. So I can't say that at night because she would have been like, oh, well, let me just go out and look at it. So if I say it like in the morning because it's like, oh, girl, I ain't want to wake you. Or she called my line in the middle of the night to say, oh, hey, girl, I left my car because my car wouldn't start. And she didn't tell me till like, some kind of story. So I'm paging her 911. So I hear my mama talking. I hear her saying, I totally understand. I totally agree. No, I do not allow it. I don't understand what's going on, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I'm like, girl, who you talking to? While I'm waiting for the phone call. You have not called me back. She was like, well, hold on. Let me give you her number. Well, who number? Who number? You gave Wildin' Out Dad my private number. So I'm sitting there and I looked at the caller ID because my cousin from Miami spoiled the out of me. So at this point in time, like I said, we had landlines, but I had my own private line. So my own private line, like my cousin had bought a cordless phone. My cordless phone, like if I mash the hope, I can't. I'm pretty sure is not a picture of it on the internet. But anyway, when I put if I mashed the whole button, it would play music. Like it was this real high techie type situation. It had my own S machine. On my S machine, I had my own little voice message. Do I remember the message? Oh, I was like, leave your name and number, and I was like, after the beat, leave your name and number, and I was like, and I'll get back to you. Like I used to think I was a little singer chat. Anyway, so yeah, because I remember when I first did it, because I had called me, and I was like, girl, listen to my we weren't even calling it voicemail. I think it was just like messages. We was calling it messages. Because it's like leave a message after the beat. It wasn't even called voicemails back then. Anyway, so I was like, girl, Nia, listen to my stuff that you hear. I don't even remember what I called it. I was like, listen to my message. Oh, listen to my message that you're gonna hear when I'm not home. And so she was like, I like it. And so Green Eyes was like, let me listen. And so she called, and so she was like, Angel, that sounds stupid. Like she had that on my voicemail. She was like, pick up the phone. I ain't even pick up the phone. Me and Green Eyes used to go back and forth. She used to hurt my nerves. Rest in peace though. That was my boo though. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So you gave him my private number, and I was like, because like with the house phone, like you had like time to react, you had time to think. You know what I'm saying? My private number is like I ain't got to call the house phone number. I could just call directly to your number, lady. So anyway, when she said that, I'm like, who's she talking to? So my phone rung. And I was like, hello. And so her dad was like, Angel, where is Wildin' Out? I said, I don't know. He was like, what you mean you don't know? Because your mom said her car is outside. I said, well, I just found out her car was outside when my mom came and bammed on the door. And so he was like, I don't know what game y'all playing. I don't know why parents think when when people are telling you the truth, it's like, baby, I'm not lying to you. I had no idea she was leaving the car. I don't know what game y'all think y'all playing, but it's not going to work out well for her. So you better get in contact with her and tell her to get home now. I was like, I'll page her just like you page her. And I was like, but I had no idea she was leaving the car. I don't know where she is. Now, could you imagine if I would have got in the car with them? Could you girl, girl. Anyway, so I was like, girl, you could have said, like, it would have been cool if she said, like, she was leaving the car, or if you would have just left the car at your stepmama's house. I don't know if you were able to do that or not, if the stepmama was living out there with the daddy yet. I don't know, but anyway, so yeah, it was like, so I'm paging her back to back, paging her, blowing her pager up, 911. So you finally, I guess, get the realization, or maybe you was asleep, maybe you was being folded like a pretzel, unknowing, I don't know, but you finally respond. You was like, why you and my daddy blowing me up? Girl. I was like, why didn't you tell me you left the car outside? She was like, oh. I was like, yeah. I said, so mama woke up and was like, her car is outside. And I was like, so she talked to your daddy first. I didn't even know the car was out there. So you're on your own on this one. Because I didn't know the car was out there. I said, if you would have just told me you was leaving the car, I would have came up with something. Or we could have came up with something together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like a united front. A united front. We could have came up with something together. Here you are. Like, I was like, girl, you out there. You on a plank by yourself. And I was like, your daddy already called. I was like, mama gave him my cell phone number. Mama gave him my phone number. So he already called. He already said he don't know what game you playing, but if I get in contact with you, tell you to get home now. She was like, oh. And I was like, girl. I was like, if you would have just said, hey, I'm leaving the car. And we could have came up with something while y'all was down here. Like, I was like, all the time that you was sitting in here, like, y'all was in here talking. We was in here laughing and talking. You didn't think to say, I'm leaving the car? She was like, I didn't even think. She was like, I didn't. I was like, girl. So she was like, I'll figure it out. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, you might want to call your stepmom. You might want to call around to figure out, like, who said what. And I was like, I just want to let you know, like, my mom already said she don't play these games. I was like, I didn't know you was leaving the car. If you would have just told me. So she was like, it's okay. She was like, I'll figure it out. She was like, hell, I'm in trouble now, so I might as well live it up. No. No. So anyway, so I was like, all right, girl. So she was like, all right. And she hung up. That's the end for me. Like, I mean, there's nothing else I can say, nothing else we can do. That's the end for me. So I was like, hell, I'm already up. I can't go back to sleep. So a couple of minutes later, my phone rings again. So I look at the call ID and it's Nia. So I was like, hello? She was like, girl. Nia had her own private line as well. She was like, girl, did Wildin' Out dad call you? I was like, yeah. She was like, girl. And I was like, what? I was like, he called you? She was like, yes. And I was like, well, what did he say to you? He was like, nothing. He was just asking, pretty much like, have you seen her? Where she at? Because he pimped it like, she was missing. And so she was like, no, I haven't seen her. Because Nia and Wildin' Out, they were on the same cheer team. They both were cheerleaders. So she was like, no, I haven't seen her. And so he was like, okay, I just wanted to know, like, if it was something with cheer or something. You was trying to cover all bases. And I was like, yeah, he called here. And I was like, her car outside. And I was like, but if she would have just said something, she was like, oh. She was like, where's she at? And I was like, we're California. So she was like, oh my God. So, because at this point in time, again, we thought, both of us, all of us, we thought, all in unison, that she was done with California. We all thought like she was done. So when you popped up and you was like, I'm going to California house, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? This is not very cutesy. This is not very demure. I know y'all tired of hearing that, but get your money first. Anyway, so yeah, it was like, I don't know what, like, it's like I can't save you. It's not. So Nia was like, so what you gonna do? I was like, nothing. I was like, I let her know. And I was like, I paged her. She finally answered. I let her know, like, what's going on. So she was like, well, I paged her. She didn't respond to me. And I was like, okay. So she was like, so page her and let her know, like, hey, your dad called me. I was like, all right, I'll let her know. So I paged her again after me and Nia hung up. And she called me. She was like, hey. And I was like, girl, your dad called Nia. She was like, what? She was like, what? And I was like, yeah, he called Nia. He called Nia to find out if y'all had like a chill situation. You know, because I said, according to Nia, he played it like y'all, like you were missing. She was like, are you serious? Are you serious? And I was like, yeah. I was like, so I was like, I'm hitting you up to let you know, like, the updates I'm getting, so you can be on your game with whatever you come up with when you get home. It's whatever. And so she was like, all right, okay. And so literally she left it at that. And so she was like, all right. She was like, I ain't worried about it. So she was like, but yeah, just let me know whatever else you hear. I was like, all right, just be careful. Hung up. So I'm sitting downstairs. I'm still in my room chilling, minding my business. My business is minding me. And here come my mama. And at this point in time, like, I had already opened the door. So here come my mama. And so she was like, where is she? And I said, I don't know. She's like, what you mean you don't know? I said, I don't know. She was like, Angel, I heard your phone ring. I heard your phone ring twice. No, I heard your phone ring multiple times at that. And I said, right. And I was like, her dad called. I said, because you gave him the number. And I said, and Nia called me. I said, because he called Nia. I said, and so he's playing it like she's missing. And he don't know where she is. And so she was like, well, does he know? I said, I don't know. And I was like, Mama, like, I was in here. Like, I'm in here with you. I'm in here with you. Like, what? She was like, I was like, I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know where she is. I was like, I'm here. She was like, I don't play them games, Angel. If she was like, I have no problem with her leaving her car here, but not for foolishness, not to be playing no games like that. And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, so she was like, I just don't understand, why would she leave her car and not say nothing. I said, well, I was like, I don't know. I was like, let me see if I can call her and find out. Right? So we about to pimp. Like, I was like, okay, let me see if I can call her and find out. So I paged her. I was like, I'm gonna page her and see if she'll call me back. So she called me back again. And so when she called me back, my mom had walked away. So when she called me back, and I was like, just go with it. And so she was like, okay. And so I was like, girl, why you ain't tell me? So I'm talking loud. Girl, why you ain't tell me you left your car? Oh. Okay, now that makes sense. Oh, okay. All right. I was like, well, let me tell my mama. So maybe she can call your dad. And I said, because your dad is around here tripping or whatever. And so she was like, you stupid. And I was like, girl, I'm trying to save you. So I went upstairs, and so it was like, I saw my mama, and I was like, she said her car didn't start. And I was like, so when she left with her friends, like, they went out, hung out, had dinner or whatever. And by the time they came back, it was late. Like, our house was dark. And she didn't want to wake anybody up when her car didn't start. So she just got back in the car with her friends. And so my mom was like, why didn't they take her home? I said, now that I don't know. You asked me to find out why she left the car. This is why she left the car. I was like, I don't know where they went. I don't know where she at. I ain't asked that. I just asked why she left the car. That's what you asked me to ask her. She was like, she was like, well, did you call her dad and tell her dad that? And I was like, no. And because I was like, I really didn't want him to have my number. You could have just said, Angel, pick up the phone. I would have preferred that. I was like, I don't want him having my number. I want no old man having my number. She was like, whatever. And so she was like, well, I'm going to call him back to let him know what she said. So she called her dad back, and she was like, well, according to Angel, like, she called Angel because he was like, she hasn't called me. And so I was like, well, she called Angel and told Angel, like, when they came back from eating, her car wouldn't start. And so it was late and the house was dark. She didn't want to wake nobody up. I don't know where she went after that, but that's why her car is in the yard. Because I was sitting here going, like, how he even know, like, the car is in the yard? But then I was like, oh, my mama told him. Like, oh, her car was like, girl, you a police officer. You don't get information. So anyway, so she had told her dad that. But anyway, that didn't really help her or nothing, because once she finally showed up, because that fool ended up spending the whole weekend. That fool was like, I'm already in trouble. I'm about to live it up. That fool did not come back till Sunday. And he kicked her out. She ended up going to live with her stepmama. He kicked her out. So yeah. That is the story time of Her Car's Outside. I love you the most because you're definitely the dopest in real life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.